the one, the only, the legend. I have a shirt with Siren Head on it, and I just couldn't find it. So, geez Louise. Siren Head. Got to love him. He is a legend. So many different details revealed over the years. So many rip-off games for the Google Play Store. Oh, it's such a classic. There's just so much going on here. It's just like, I don't know, it's the cryptid of the past year or so. Probably more than that, let's be real. A lot of people don't seem to like Siren Head that much, eh? People are mad that it's, I don't know, not as iconic as Slender Man, who knows? But Siren Head is a beauty of a creature with so many fun details. The fact that it can like mimic sounds, the fact that it makes those wailing noises, the fact that it can burst your eardrums and kill you, that it hangs people in trees. It's beautiful. It's a tall, fleshy creature whose head is a pole with 2 speakers attached. It lurks in wooded areas, emitting disturbing noises. Sometimes they're distorted radio reports or weird, garbled pieces of music. My favorite is when he plays the number stations. That's a really cool thing, eh? When it's just like, it's broadcasting numbers and you're not really sure if it's trying to communicate something or if it's just total randomness. Siren Head is just a beautiful classic creature that's gonna go down in history as a wonderful, freaky cryptid. I love it. I love everything about it. Shattered. Oh God, it's just coming to get me, isn't it? This thing has seen me and it wants me not to be around anymore. Look at those fingers. Look at that face. Kind of looks like the ma from that one episode of SpongeBob where they're selling chocolates. Oh God. This creature seems to be a red, pale, crooked-handed body that was missing, throttled, and broken. It is thin-looking and has black eyeballs and white glowing eyes, and it seems to be frowning with its mouth open, like the Night Watchman. It has 5 fingers, like any other human. They're about 6 to 8 inches long. It was found by some other people at night. What do you mean it was found by some other people at night? What do you mean some other people? Who are these people and where are they now? That's what I'm interested in. I don't know what's going on here. This thing could have grabbed the photographer and carried them off to freaking Kingdom Come, and we would never know. This thing doesn't even have a body. Like I feel like I can see right through it to the glowing lights behind it. And we're near a fence too, so we're out like kind of in the middle of nowhere, it appears. Maybe like kind of like off from a small town, or there's like some houses out in the fields nearby a bigger town. And this thing just floating along and picking people up. I bet you they pick people up and carry them up into the sky, never to be heard from again. Sky tentacles. Oh my goodness, that's freaky. That looks like something Lovecraftian coming down. That could be like a color out of space adjunct. That could be some sort of horrible like Yog-Sothoth creature coming down to grant some forbidden knowledge. There's lightning too, which is insane. I've never seen anything like that from Trevor. Is this a true Trevor Henderson creation? I wonder. The sky tentacles depict 4 large jet black tentacles coming out of what appears to be a rift in the sky. The tentacles themselves are of varying lengths and resemble the legs of a spider, specifically a tarantula, due to having many dark hairs or possibly spikes covering them. Yeah, they do look pretty tarantula-esque, don't they? Oh man. You think what it is like they're like big tentacles, but then the hairs are actually like little spider legs, just ready to just grab at and scratch at and skitter over anything that it can get close to. I mean, it's pretty far up in the sky, so maybe it's trying to grab like some sky-based creatures, you know, eat a spider, eat a bird or two. Either way, I mean, this seems to be a pretty a rare occurrence, you know, captured not too often. The Stalker. Hold on, I gotta get up nice and close. Okay, for a second I thought it looked like Longhorse, and I'm like, that's just Longhorse, but it is not just Longhorse. Look at it. Look at that horrid beast looming above the city street. See, that's not something you want to encounter while walking around late at night. It has long hair, a big mouth, long arms and neck, but it seems to be unnoticed, so maybe it's like Good Boy who only appears in pictures. He has long black hair in his head and a huge wide smile on his face. Outwardly, it resembles a nervous houseguest or country road creature. The creature can be quiet, despite its huge size, and moves quickly and crawls on the walls. Its height reaches from 8 to 12 meters. He is a bloodthirsty maniac who kills people and other monsters. Very resilient and durable. Oh my goodness, there's just so much wrong with this thing. With its eyes, with its smile, with its spindly arms, and the way that it just kind of like hangs over the cityscape. It's one of those things where if you accidentally like looked up at the night sky one night and you saw that right above you, like you just stop existing, right? Like you don't scream, you don't run, you don't cry, you just go like, oh, and you're gone. You're never seen again. That's that. The bridge worm. Now this is a classic. So this is the bridge worm with its face covered, because I'm gonna read the text after, but I know for a fact that bridge worms, they live under the bridges and they have kind of like a humanoid, like pale face most of the time, but then it opens up and there's another like red, bloody tooth and flesh and vein face under there, and it's just absolutely god awful. Bridge worm. As their name implies, the bridge worms tend to lair beneath bridges and other overpasses. They're known for using fake faces to lure their prey and then eat them when it was too late. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got a fake face. So they look like quasi-friendly, like sort of like sad. Like they almost look like Strong Sad from Homestar Runner cartoons. But then when you get up close, it's like, and it's just this god, like it's like all their skin's been torn off and it's just raw flesh and they're ready to eat you. And that's that. Bridge worms. Terrifying. The Wandering Faith. Now here's another kaiju-esque one, eh? Like it's so big it doesn't even all fit in frame. Like you can't even, its neck just ascends right out of the frame. And based on the type of photo this is, which is a very wide landscape, the scale of this thing is absolutely horrifying. It's enormous, it's huge, it's gigantic. The Wandering Faith depicts gigantic quadrupedal creature wandering through a small town. It has 4 massive legs that have 2 joints bending slightly in different directions. They appear to be quite skeletal in appearance, as the shape of the bones are visible. Given the shape of its legs, they most likely either end in hooves, elephantine feet, or it does not possess any feet at all, only walking on stumps. What's the difference between a stump and a hoof? Probably not a whole lot, but yeah, I mean, these things could just like stab into the ground. It could be levitating for all we know, right? Like it could just like exist like in another plane, and we can sort of see it entering ours, but it's just like moving along, not actually making contact with anything. These kaiju creatures, these branchy, viney, skinny skeleton creatures, man, I don't know what you do about them. It's not even like Godzilla where it's like beefy, you know, and you know you can hit it because it's so big. They're spindly. These things are spindly. The chicken ghost. Oh god, yeah. This is I think this is similar to that one of the bird scavenging farmers' fields done up. This is like his like done up in like the patron saint style, right? It almost looks like something you could put on one of those holy candles. It's holding up the egg, levitating it. Those eyes though. Those eyes. Oh boy. They are red. They are dead. They are redemptive. He's got claws of some sort too. Looks absolutely emaciated. You can see the bones in his chest. Those chest bones. Ribs. Not good. The ghost chicken, or god of chickens, is a minor deity specifically for poultry. While he is frightening, it's stated that he is chaotic good and rarely attacks, as he just defends chickens. Which is bad news for a lot of folks, especially those of us who are trying to eat healthy, you know, the chicken and rice and broccoli crowd. You may want to watch out for this poultry ghost. He'll get ya. The Misty Storm Wanderers. Oh my goodness. This creature looks to have dark white skin tone with a plantigrade leg structure. In the background, we can see a silhouette of what looks to be a 100-foot tall insect-like creature. The creature looks to have spikes on its head and back, with its legs making up most of its body. It kind of reminds me of the thing from The Ritual, but like on a big scale. What are those called again? The Jotun, or the Jotun. The Norse horrible beast. They do have a lot of similarities, except this is like huge on a whole other scale. My goodness, is it big. It also kind of reminds me of the Pokemon from Pokemon X, the legendary Pokemon. Hold on, Xerneas. That's what it looks like. We're getting legendary Pokemon in this world, but they're much more eldritch than we could have ever imagined. Horrid, terrifying. Meat Nugget. Wow, I love Nugget. Nugget's the most wholesome of Trevor creations, right? It looks pretty raunchy, bloody, raw, despicable in this one, but usually it's like a pinker quality. Looks a little cuter, just like hangs out on desks, runs around. It's like, is it off of Big Charlie? Is it like a little piece that came to life from Big Charlie? I'm not entirely sure, but like I love the Nugget. I love the things that people create with the Nugget in it, right? Like I feel like Nugget has made cameo appearances in like indie horror games. I feel like it's made cameo appearances in other horror artists' works, and of course there's like a plush Nugget that somebody made for Trevor, right? That's like on his work desk. It's just adorable.
Monster comes from Greek mythology and consists of the upper body of a young woman and a lower body of 6 dogs. Skyla has not always been a monster though. Originally, she was the daughter of a nymph and beautiful, but a jealous sorceress poisoned the waters where Skyla liked to go. After taking a bath there, 6 dog heads and 12 dog feet grew out of her abdomen. Completely disfigured, Skyla wanted to avenge the disaster she had suffered and became a wild monster. From then on, she lived opposite another monster on a rock in a strait and ate everything that lived and came within her reach. For example, 6 companions of the Greek hero Odysseus.
Okay, so if I got the math right here, I feel like the dog head to dog leg ratio is off. Because if there's 6 dog heads and 12 dog legs, that means all these dogs only have 2 legs. I'm sure it moves around just fine with 12 legs, spindly claws and whatnot, but I feel like it's a little off, you know? Shouldn't we be having a full 24 dog legs? My math correct? I mean, I didn't go into this field to do math, obviously, but Skyla does sound pretty formidable either way. Although, if she's on a rock in a strait, I guess she'd be pretty large at some point, right? Especially based on the art. But how effective would she be at attacking living things in the water if she's got 12 dog legs? Dogs aren't known for their phenomenal swimming ability. Like the doggy paddle is a famously inefficient swimming stroke.
Is also known as Midgard Serpent or World Serpent and inhabits the ocean surrounding Midgard. A child of Loki and Angerboda, Jormungandr was dispelled into the ocean by Odin, and it was there that it grew massive enough to encircle the earth. The serpent is of simple design, but its formidable size is impressive, making it a match even for its rival, the god of thunder, Thor. Jormungandr is said to wrap around the world and grab hold of its own tail.
Yeah, and it gnaws at the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, to bring about Armageddon. Or is it Ragnarok? It's probably Ragnarok. But hey, either way, right? The end of the world. That's all that is happening. This thing is enormous, is monstrous, is a monstrosity. And even the Norse gods have a tough time standing up against this gigantic snake. Gotta love it.
Leviathan of the Middle Ages was used as an image of Satan attempting to eat God's creatures. Leviathan became associated with, and may originally have referred to, the visual motif of the Hellmouth, a monstrous animal into whose mouth the damned disappear at the Last Judgment. Young Earth creationists argue that both the Leviathan and the Behemoth in the Bible could only have been dinosaurs that they claim still existed when the Book of Job was written. In the study of demonology, the Leviathan is one of the 7 princes of hell and its gatekeeper.
God, love a good Leviathan. Great roller coaster, absolutely. But yeah. Ooh. Just the word itself, Leviathan, just associated with everything like unimaginably huge, like some like Lovecraftian imagery here, for certain. I feel like they've got to be making horror movies about this thing, right? Maybe not in name. Talked about a lot of Leviathan related things while looking into some demon facts for other videos. So I think that last little tidbit he dropped off there, could be onto something.
They are yokai that have traits of humans and reptiles and a beak-like mouth.
Oh.
The water demons attack humans and animals passing their territory, drown them, and then steal their liver.
Look at them. Oh, they steal
They
your
are only
liver?
as tall as children and relatively harmless on land, but in the water, they are all the more dangerous. As long as there is a special magical fluid in their sara, that's the plate-shaped hollow on their head, These beings cannot be defeated by humans. However, if they lose some of the fluid, they become weaker and may even die. Kappa often steals cucumbers or drowns people who ate cucumbers before swimming.
Classic Kappa. Love them. They're just so freaking hideous. They just look like middle managers at a terrible business firm with the bowl cut and the bald spot on their head. They're strong. They'll drown you. They'll take your liver, man. Your kidney, too, if you're lucky. Holy smokes. I love it when Kappas show up in, like, random manga and anime, too. Like, they're such classic Japanese pieces of folklore, and they always show up, like, in random assorted, like, modern stories as, like, reimaginings of them, and I don't know.
Bozu is said to live in the ocean and capsize the ship of anyone who dares speak to
That
it.
thing's terrifying. Look at it.
This spirit's name, which combines the character for sea with the character of Buddhist monk, is possibly related to the fact that the Umi Bozu is said to have a large, round head. Alternatively, they are demonic yokai, specters, that appear to shipwreck victims and fishermen. It's usually reported as having a grey, cloud-like torso and serpentine limbs. If angered, it asks the crew to provide a barrel. It then fills it with seawater to drown them.
Couldn't you just drown them in the sea, Mr. Umibozu? Do you have to take their barrel, fill it with water, and then drown them in that? Seems like a couple extra steps, adding insult to injury. Maybe that's the point, you know? Keep the legend alive. But I feel like you could just drag them off the boat, put them in the water. They're cooked anyways. Capsize their ship, that's where they'll drown. Damn. The idea that, like, it's sort of like human-ish, and that it's like standing like head and shoulders above the water. Imagine if its like limbs reached the bottom of the ocean floor. How incredibly, disturbingly, phenomenally large this thing is. Holy smokes.
Big-headed, mischievous atrocity is said to capsize the ship of any
Umibozu
brave
again.
soul that addresses the sea-dwelling creature. Other lore of the Umibozu paints it as
more
a
lore
demonic
this time.
entity, thought to be drowned priests that indiscriminately shipwreck those that cross its path. Often depicted as serpentine with a cloudy body and a shaven humanoid head, the Umibozu is said to appear on calm nights to wreak havoc on ships. If it doesn't outright destroy a vessel, it demands a barrel from the crew, which it fills with water and dumps on the deck of the ship to sink it.
Dang. See, that is some more information on the Umibozu, because I feel like we didn't know it had a shaven head. How does it shave underwater like that? Does it have a razor, maybe? I don't know. That the bucket is actually meant to just add more water to the deck. Rest in peace. That it will come on calm nights, even when you think you're safe. Not.
Cthulhu is an
Cthulhu.
undersea monster and has been described as a mix between a giant octopus, a man,
Speaking
and
of
a dragon.
Lovecraftian.
It's hundreds of meters tall, with human-looking arms and legs and a pair of wings on its back. Cthulhu's head looks like an octopus, with tentacles surrounding its supposed mouth. H.P. Lovecraft's story, The Call of Cthulhu, established the character as a malevolent entity hibernating within an underwater city in the South Pacific called R'lyeh. Games company TSR included an entire chapter on the Cthulhu mythos in Deities and Demigods 1980.
Gotta love the Cthulhu mythos. I don't know why he said it like Cthulhu. Maybe that's more correct, but I feel like it's not. I think it's Cthulhu. But you gotta love that deep, dark world that H.P. Lovecraft created with the cults ever chanting, ever looking for new members, waiting for him to come back, communicating, chanting. It's wild. And the fact that Cthulhu is not even close to the most powerful Lovecraftian monster is mind-blowing, to say the least.
The Lernian Hydra was an ancient serpentine water monster in Greek and Roman mythology. Its lair was the Lake of Lerna in the Argolid. Lerna was reputed to be an entrance to the underworld, a sacred site older than Mycenaean Argos. The Hydra served as a sort of guard. The Hydra was the offspring of Typhon and Echidna. It possessed many heads, and each time one was lost, it was replaced by two more. It had poisonous breath and blood so virulent that even its scent was deadly.
Yeah, Hydra is a classic. Does anybody else have the horrifying childhood nightmare playing over and over again in their heads of the Hydra from Hercules? Oof. Cutting off the heads, watching two more sprout out. Unbelievable. The Hydra is a phenomenal beast. Another classic, this is a little more recent, classic Hydra experience is fighting the Hydra in Dark Souls. I've never even fought it, man. I see it and I run the other way because all it does is spit things at you. You get too close, you drown. No good. Hydras, don't mess with them. Mm-mm.
As the goddess of saltwater, Tiamat mated with Apsu, the god of freshwater, to reproduce and give life to the lesser gods. According to legend, Tiamat and Apsu intended to kill the lesser gods, but when intercepted by Ea and Marduk, the two were slaughtered. Marduk cut Tiamat in half and used her body to create the sky, the earth, and the clouds, while her tears formed the Tigris and Euphrates. Originally depicted as a dragon or sea serpent, Tiamat's popularized form as a multi-headed dragon spawned from Dungeons & Dragons in the 1970s.
I just feel like that was like information overload almost. Just so many different things were happening about its birth, about its being split in half to create basically the entire world, about it being also known as a five-headed dragon. There is a lot going on with this creature, but it feels like something that is just so totally mythological that it couldn't ever actually exist. It's a creation story, you know?
Classical creature first detailed in 12th century Norway, the Kraken has morphed into a variety of different on-screen and literary monstrosities. In the Natural History of Norway, Bishop of Bergen, Erik Ludvigsen Pontoppidan, described the Kraken as the largest sea monster in the world with a width of up to 1.5 miles and starfish-like protuberances. Though the gruesome picture of a ship-sinking sea monster was diminished slightly in the 18th century when French scientist Pierre Denis de Montfort linked it to a large Kraken octopus.
Kraken octopus. Gotta love the Kraken. Legendary. Enormous. 1.5 miles wide. Can't even run away from it, man. There's no way you're traversing faster than a thing that is 1.5 miles wide. It's not happening. It's going to grab you. It's going to tear you to pieces. The Kraken is like the be-all and end-all of sea monsters, eh? Remember when like Release the Kraken was like the biggest meme going? Now it's got a hockey team, man. I bet you they made Seattle's hockey team the Kraken just so they could say, Release the Kraken. And for good reason, too. Wicked beast. Makes for good calamari, too. I wonder if Starro was inspired by the Kraken. I bet.
Shantak. Shantaks are a species of flying bird-like creatures. They are larger than elephants in size and are said to have heads resembling those of horses and lay eggs of colossal size and rich flavor? Very few humans are known to have seen them in person. Shantaks have a slimy reptilian skin, a pair of membranous bat-like wings, and a head which is said to resemble that of a horse. They are known to inhabit the cold waste region of Earth's dreamlands. Okay. I didn't even know those were real, but okay. Where they are sometimes used as mounts by the denizens of the strange land, although they are deeply fearful of the night gods, which also live there. Yeah, that could end the world, right? Well, could it? I don't know. Yeah, like, slimy, okay, so they're hard to catch. Reptilian skin, not a fan. Bat-like wings and a head which is said to resemble that of a horse. Okay. Well, a flying horse. I don't even know. I feel like that's tameable. You know? I feel like that's a tameable creature. Like, you could use that as like a, hey, faithful steed going into battle against the other creatures on this list? For sure. For sure. Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is a cosmic entity and outer god. Ooh. Born of the Nameless Mist. He is the progenitor of Cthulhu. Hastur the Unspeakable and the ancestor of Wormy. He is also the father of Wilbur Whately. I love how all the other relatives have like an incredible name, like Cthulhu, Hastur the Unspeakable, and ancestor of Wormy. And then he's like, he's also the father of Wilbur Whately. What a name! Yog-Sothoth visually manifests as a mass of glowing orbs, with eyes or tendrils in some versions, and in others simply the orbs. It is heavily implied, if not outright stated, that Yog-Sothoth is omniscient and is locked outside the universe, meaning he can know and see all of space-time all at once, which means there is no secret hidden from Yog-Sothoth. Yeah, okay, that could totally destroy the world if it was real. I mean, the fact that it already knows what's gonna happen, if we did try to fight back, it'd be like, well, I know you're gonna do this, so I'll just do this to counter, but at the same time, wouldn't it already know? If it knows all, then it would know that it was gonna conquer the universe, and it would have, it's just waiting for the time to strike when it's supposed to, so, yeah, that's definitely likely. If that was real, for sure. Especially you can't get your hands on it. Like, how are you supposed to destroy that? It sounds like energy personified into a living, into a living conscious being. It's energy personified into a living conscious being. So I don't know, seems how you can't destroy or create energy, this one would be pretty hard to come up against. So for sure would take over the world, 100%. The Hydra. Mother Hydra is an enormous humanoid creature with a fish-like face, flapping gills, and Piscian skin. Do they have an Instagram? Anyways, fish face. She, along with Father Dagon and Great Cthulhu himself, form the holy trinity of the Deep Ones, the three entities. There is much debate on whether Mother Hydra is a great old one herself, or if she is simply a massively overgrown Deep One, considering that some Deep Ones continue to grow as they age. But it should be noted that Hydra and her consort, Dagon, have been entrusted by Cthulhu with the guardianship of his daughter, Cthyla. This is a duty which they perform in one of the Deep Ones' mighty submarine cities somewhere beneath the North Atlantic. That one just wouldn't scroll over. Stop it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she's got homies to back her up, then for sure. Would destroy the world. I'm pretty sure anything that came out of Lovecraft's mind has the capability of destroying the world, or at least part of it. Or at least just take it over a little chunk, and that could be their own world, you know what I mean? Gtanothoa. Gtanothoa, aka the Dark One, is a great old one, and the firstborn of Cthulhu, spawned by Idia on the planet Xoth. Great. It is a huge, amorphous monstrosity whose appearance is so hideous that anyone who gazes upon it, or even a perfect replica, is petrified into a living mummy. The victim is permanently immobilized, the body taking on the consistency of leather, ew, and the internal organs and brain preserved indefinitely. Yeah, that's awful, yet remains fully aware. So it's preserved as a mummy? All leathery and gross, but it has, the consciousness of a human being. No. Only the destruction of the subject's brain or the application of a magic scroll can free it from its hellish prison, though the unfortunate is likely to be incurably insane long before the welcomed release. Yeah. I would definitely go insane. Oh, I hate that. I don't like the idea of being trapped inside anything. When I was a kid, I used to wail and wail and wail, would drive my dad crazy until I was let out of the crib and learned how to crawl, and I think that's a metaphor for life. But that's, don't like that. Imagine, I feel like Gtanothoa could create a legion of these creatures and bring them to war as soon as they go insane. So, yeah, definitely possible. Definitely possible, especially if he made them all military people. No thank you. But look at me! That's also a thing too. You'd have to force them to be look at me! You know what I mean? Deep One. Deep Ones are primarily aquatic in nature, although they are capable of surviving on land for an indefinite period of time. They are hairless, have a scaly fish-like skin, feathered gills on their necks or upper torsos, and are possessed of webbed hands and feet which facilitate travel beneath waves. That's very practical. That's good. You should have that if you're gonna live underwater. They entered a contract with the people of Innsmouth to keep the fish plentiful in their area. They also seem to have a supply of gold artifacts of an earthly design. The Deep Ones worship Father Dagon and his consort Mother Hydra. These ones sound okay. The Deep Ones sound okay. As long as you don't take all their fish away, I think they'll be okay with that, They they just sound like they're just trying to do their best, you know? They've got the practical swimming ability with, like, webbed hands. That's okay. They just want to make sure that they can eat, and that's about it. They don't seem too demanding. They don't seem like they want to conquer the world, so I think they can stay. I'm happy about it. All right, good for them. Cthulhu. I love that name. Cthulhu is a great old one of great power who lies in a death-like slumber beneath the Pacific Ocean in his sunken city of Rylea. He remains a dominant presence in the Eldritch dealings of our world. The most detailed descriptions of Cthulhu are based on statues of the creature. One constructed by an artist after a series of baleful dreams is said to have yielded simultaneous pictures of an octopus, a dragon, and a human caricature. Sounds like Dave Jones. A pulpy, tentacled head surmounted a grotesque and scaly body with rudimentary wings. It can fly. Gross. No thank you. No thank you. I've seen pictures of Cthulhu online because years and years ago my friend Matt introduced me to him. But yeah, Cthulhu out of all of these creatures, I don't know why they're not number one, but Cthulhu 100% could take over the world because he's just sleeping. Imagine what we all could do being that well rested, you know? Bokrug. Bokrug is the lake-dwelling god of the semi-amphibian Thumha, voiceless ones, of Ib in the land of Nar. The deity sleeps beneath the calm waters of a lake that bordered Ib in the city of Sarnath. When the humans of Sarnath cruelly slaughtered the populace of Ib and stole the god's idol, the great deity stirred. Ooh. On the 1000th anniversary of Ib's destruction, Bokrug... Why'd he wait 1,000 years? Bokrug rose up and utterly destroyed the city of Sarnath so completely that not even ruins remained. Afterwards, the Thumha race recolonized Ib and thenceforth lived undisturbed. So who knows? I mean, he sounds like a pretty just, like... Could he destroy the world? Yes. Would he? No. I feel like this guy's pretty fair, you know? I don't know why he waited 1,000 years. Maybe it takes him that long to wake up, but I know what it's like rolling out of bed in the morning. Sometimes it's like I wake up at 7 and then all of a sudden it's 8:30. It's like, whoa. Yeah, could he? Yes. Would he? I don't think so. I think he would only do it if he really, 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 really needed to, which it seems like he did because these people were awful. Stop killing people! Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is a deity in the Cthulhu mythos and dream cycle stories of H.P. Lovecraft and other authors. Its epitaphs include the nuclear chaos, the demon sultan, and the blind idiot god who unintentionally created the universe and sits at the center of it. Great. He is said to be a swirling mass of tentacles reaching an impossible size. Sounds like a colossal squid sitting in the middle of the universe. We already have that, okay? Yog-Sothoth. What a great name. Could he? Probably. Would he? I don't think so. I think he's too content with the fact that he's created it from the way it sounds. Like, imagine he just created the universe, was like, huh, I did a good job, and then just sat down and chilled out, you know? You know how you do that after a long day's work? You just sit down with a coffee or beverage of choice and just admire all the work you did for the day. So I feel like he's a pretty chill guy. I would sit with him. I'd talk to him. How did he do it? I'd love to know. Ghast. Hailing from Lovecraft's surreal dream cycle, ghasts are humanoid creatures that live in the vaults of Zin. They have a vaguely human face but lack noses or ears. They also have kangaroo-like legs, which they use to hop around on and are very swift, strong, and agile, like kangaroos. They hate sunlight and thus dwell in the complete darkness with sunlight capable of destroying them. Kangaroo/vampire. Hunting in packs, they are fearsome hunters who will practice cannibalism if they get too hungry. So not loyal then. Okay. Yeah, definitely could destroy the world if they're like, if anybody's ever seen like a kangaroo punch a human being. Yeah, so if this is like human cross vampire cross kangaroo. Yes, they could. They could definitely destroy the world for sure. And last but not least, number 1, Yog-Sothoth. This writhing, I hate that word, writhing mass of tentacles is said to be Cthulhu's sister. Damn. She's described as literally just a big pile of tentacles, and in turn gave birth to Nakosta and Cthulhu, Cthulhu's daughters. Wait a minute. This is so... Her abilities are ill-defined, but she can grab her victims with her tendrils and yank them in to devour them whole. Straight to the point. I like it. She's also noted for particularly bad-tempered and violent, causing other old ones to tread carefully around her. Bad-tempered! Seriously. Ugh. This is like a Zeus-Hera situation here, I think. Yeah. The gods love that. Because, I don't know, they're in such short supply. I feel like out of all of them, she's probably the least likely. I feel like she's just kind of hungry and would stay in one place and just devour whoever came across her. There are others on this list that could definitely destroy the world, like Cthulhu if he wanted to, for sure. 100%. Her brother? Yeah, for sure. Maybe she could. I mean, there is no wrath like a woman scorned, so if somebody were to make her that angry, I wouldn't put it past her. Let's put it that way.
It's incredibly rare. So little is known about them. It lives very deep, below 1,000 meters.
Oh.
It's called a hairy anglerfish.
Hairy? It is
long,
hairy.
bristly fin rays that make it look quite hairy.
They captured it?
This is where the head is. You can feel the hard, bony jaw of the fish, and it curls round.
Look at its
tail.
teeth.
Why is it shaped like that?
There.
Yes, I was gonna say. It's like it has its head, and then its body is just like almost like a rubber duck. You know how?
Yeah. That thing doesn't float on top. It's not. You don't want that in the bathtub with you.
Oh.
If that's in the bathtub with you, it's game over.
No.
Taking bites out of you.
Oh, those teeth are really getting to me, though.
Don't like it.
No.
I don't think anything underwater needs hairs, so there's something not quite right here.
They're slimy. They move mostly at night.
The list of nightmare qualities goes on
Creepy
and on
kind of scary looking eyes.
and on.
It has eyes, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't.
This year, more than
Oh.
5,000 of these creatures are being spotted in the Penobscot River
5,000?
near Bangor, Maine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Video from biologists shows them clinging to walls inside dams as they swim upstream to spawn.
Look at that. Look at that. Imagine
Those
that.
teeth.
Imagine that just like boom right in your chest.
Oh, and it's like, ew. Is it? It looks like a leech.
It's a giant leech. Yeah. Have you ever seen a lamprey? When what did it? It was before Corona. I think the ROM had a Bloodsuckers exhibit, and they had tanks of these things you could walk right up to and look at.
No way.
They're crazy.
No, thank you. Are those teeth? They look like teeth.
Oh, they're teeth,
too.
all right. Yeah.
No.
That's how they slurp up the blood.
I
Oh,
can't.
it's a good time.
That
Those
one's-
things are so
That one's
nasty.
the worst. More sharp teeth.
It's got a hidden mouth.
The music got me.
Jen, you jumped, eh?
I'm gonna cry. Oh my god.
This
So
poor
it's like
fish.
it's like all normal. It's like, yeah, I'm a shark, and then all of a sudden it's like and like engulfs you.
You think you're at a safe distance, and then it adds like 3 feet of mouth grab just out of nowhere.
I'm deaf now.
What?
What is it grabbing onto? Oh wait. Which one's the bad guy? The thing on the ground.
Yeah, the bottom dweller. It's got major camouflage.
He literally just like he's slurping it in. I thought it was the like black fish thing, and I was like, oh, that's
Thought it
pretty
was, like,
scary.
diving
And
down
then
or
all of a
something?
sudden,
No, it's like this like rug fish.
you
It's
can't
just
even see it. It's
hanging out on the ocean floor waiting.
He
for
meant,
some
yeah, that
prey.
fish is just like, oh, it's a nice day. Going good. Jokes.
Game over.
Done.
His
in a
2
second.
kids are waiting at home for him to come back with fish milk. It's never gonna do it.
Never gonna come
That's
back.
what. Ay. That's just like, imagine that though. Just your day is perfectly normal.
Yeah, you're like, you know what?
Walking
The temperature's
along.
nice.
Oh yeah, the ground it looks absolutely average. Nothing wrong.
Jokes.
Game over. The end.
My heart is racing.
Yeah, that was rough. That was out of nowhere.
What is that? Oh no, it looks like a snake with sharp teeth, and I don't like snakes. What is that? Is that attached to it? It's doing like an... That's part of it? It's the beard. That's not real. I refuse to believe that's real. It's not. It has a goatee. That's a goatee.
Goatee?
It has a goatee.
It's got like it's like twisted its beard into a long.
Yeah, it's like braided.
It's like that. It's like that thing from Finding Nemo. It's got the little light that attracts other
That was
fish.
on top here.
Yeah, well,
it said.
it's not like the same. It's like
Oh,
it.
so it uses it.
It's
and then,
definitely a thing that like it's like the little fish are like, oh, cool, light
cool,
show,
it's
boom. Like these
so
things that
evil.
live like in the deep ocean, like like the rug fish. At least it was like you can see some like natural light. These guys live like in the depths, like where nothing should survive, and somehow they're surviving.
Yeah, that little thing looked like it was like an alien or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually a demon. Like
God.
the portal to hell is at the bottom of the ocean, and those things just pop out of there.
The zombie sea stars.
Zombie, nice.
A very disturbing new behavior was witnessed in sea stars on America's west coast. They were observed pulling off their own arms, which then appeared to crawl away from the body on their own.
Great.
This behavior was observed all along the Pacific coast, from Alaska to Mexico, with over 20 different species of sea stars tearing themselves apart. But what had taken over these zombie starfish? Well, on every single species, each of their
does it
limbs
have so
is
many
identical
arms?
and contains their vital organs. Much like lizard tails, sea stars can regrow their limbs if it is torn off by a predator. Some species can regrow their entire body from a single arm, so long as a small part of the central disc remains. But this still doesn't explain why sea stars are simply losing their limbs with no sign of danger nearby. This could be a way of reproducing, by splitting in two and creating a new sea star. But in this case, they are disintegrating and dying, littering the Pacific coast with bodies.
Oh, just arms everywhere. That's great.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're just tearing themselves apart and dying.
You're tearing me apart. what is that from?
In a room. Lisa.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Sorry, I thought of that.
My God.
Literally, they're like, just like, don't need that anymore. Toss it and litter.
Right? But they do need it because they're disintegrating and dying.
True.
They don't know any better.
That's why they're a zombie.
They're zombies. I know this is bad. This is bad news.
Master of disguise.
Bro.
Oh. Okay, that's actually really cool. Stingray.
What?
That's kind of cool.
That's so a jelly. That is so cool.
Is that it? No, that's not it.
No, that's he's trying to
Okay. Well, it said something about like a flat fish, and then we just see that, and I was like,
right? There's like the first one, I think. That is so cool.
that is so cool.
That's wicked.
Can you imagine if humans could do that? Like all of a sudden, we're a tree. Oh, I just smacked myself.
I feel like humans can only use that. I mean, like, this guy's not exactly being nice with his powers, but
No.
like, humans would only use that power for evil. I would definitely, rob some banks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Police. I never said that, guys.
Now I am a policeman.
Don't tell the cops.
Ew, look at its feet. No. It's like a... It looks like a potato bug. Oh yeah, roly-polies. I call them potato bugs. Oh my god. That's huge. Did it just say that they can live up to 160 million years?
I was wondering that too. I think it might be the species has been around for 160 million years.
Because if one can live up to 160 million years, then we got a problem.
Imagine the imagine the unholy knowledge it has.
Oh my god.
It knows everything about us. It's waiting. It's not gonna be nibbling on fish heads for too much longer. It's gonna move on to human heads.
Don't say that. That's so creepy.
World star.
Oh snap. Oh, get him.
Oh, wait.
It just like snipped off his arm.
Just like. Oh,
yeah.
He's like,
it's mine now. My precious. That's literally what it did.
This little golem guy. Bring it into his underground cave.
Literally. This is mine.
You'll never get your arm again.
Oh no, I don't even know what this is.
I thought that was like
tell what
scary.
it is.
Like it was just like a bunch of like street fights between between
him and like a crab.
That was sick.
I love how they got so close to him too. Oh, it keeps going. It keeps going. That's not what I thought it would be. It looks like an animatronic. It doesn't look real.
Are those his teeth?
I don't think your grandpa has teeth like that. Oh no. That looks massive.
What was up with his gills? Did you see all that
It was, like,
junk in there?
protruding.
Like there
I
was
don't
like
know
little like spindly tentacly things in there? That's not good. Can somebody who is an expert at, aquatic creatures give me a call and let me know what the hell
Tell
that
us
was?
what the hell is up with this creature, because we need to know.
Yeah.
That's a mutated shark.
Yeah, there's
fish
something wrong with
thing.
it. Goodness gracious.
Its tail.
The fact the tail was like it was long, it
I
was
didn't
like
expect
at
it.
weird angles.
It just kept going. It kept going.
And the fact that the last shot was it just like out of the water dead on a tarp, like makes me think that like whoever ran into it was like, we're worried. We need to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a parasite? Oh, look at its legs. No.
Oh, no. It's still alive.
Why is it that
too.
color?
I was gonna.
Oh, no.
It looks like a Pokemon.
Yo, that thing is like, that's a parasite that took over that fish's brain 100%.
That's a zombie fish.
That is a zombie fish. No free will. It bows to the will of the tiny, see-through sea bug.
Oh God,
Ugh.
I don't like it when they're see-through. It just, I don't know why.
There's something wrong with that. If they're semi-transparent, like, no good.
Oh, yeah, those are long legs.
18 feet?
Oh, nice. I'm speechless.
You gonna give it a hug?
No.
Looks like if you really use a hug, with that bumpy shell, 18 feet.
Oh man, just imagine them like crawling towards you with those legs.
Right?
Why
Do
are they
you,
so
do you think it would be
tall?
good with butter?
I have nothing to say.
Nothing at all?
Don't want to see that again. Ever. It's kind of graceful. And mesmerizing. Can't take my eyes away.
That's how it gets you. Mesmerizes you.
That's kind of beautiful. I wouldn't want to be swimming next to it.
Yeah.
But I could watch that video like on repeat.
It's kind of like a one of those old school like desktop screensavers, you know, just things
Just
shifting.
goes around. Okay.
I'm not comfortable with the amount of like limbs.
Yeah, I don't know what's
sprouting
going
from
on
it.
there. But it's kind of graceful, just the way that it
It
goes.
is.
Wow.
You know, I wish I was that thing, just brainless at the bottom of the ocean, just floating around. That's how I feel some days.